at the KSMO studios at 1340 AM and 95.7. Well, we got, I guess, hit by lightning. Electric went out. But with a little razzle-dazzle, we got her back up and in. And Dave Kerr's in with us this morning. Hey, good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you.
How you feeling? You doing good?
Doing good.
I see you're not wet, so you dodged the raindrops
I
coming
did.
in.
It came in between the rains.
Tell you what, you are amazing to that, because I didn't get that chance. It kind of crept up on me. But anyway, Dave's we like to visit with Dave. We can talk about virtually anything we want to, but let's just put everything out on the line right now. Hospital's still in that transition. The lab is waiting. They got the new equipment in. There's training, and everything's being certified and checked, and everything is on track for what, a couple weeks maybe?
A couple weeks. Well, should be back to
Everything.
Yep. Should be back to normal.
I think people are glad to hear that.
Oh, yeah.
I know a lot of people were really shocked that all that happened, but okay, we're bringing it back on track.
Yeah, it's been a real struggle, but it's getting there. Yeah.
So, one of the things when we start talking about the hospital and different things that go on at the hospital is patients that come in, they've changed the visitor policy. I'm sure that's had to have an uplifting effect at the hospital, especially among patients.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's a lot. It has changed a lot. People are in a lot better mood, and yeah, I think it's very much for the good.
Yeah, I would like to say COVID is gone, but it's not gone.
Oh, no, not completely.
No, it's still hanging around. And now up east, they've got a little bit of an outbreak. And then I know people are not going to want to go back to it, but they extended the mandate now on flights now. It was supposed to end on Monday, get past Easter weekend now. They've extended that. Now Philadelphia just went back to a mask mandate.
Right.
So, guys, it's still very important. Don't stop washing your hands, right? Because that's really where most of the problems come from. Is we pick up, touch, and then wipe all over our faces and put food in our mouth and sneeze and have to, kind of just, whatever we have to do. But the touch and putting it in your mouth is still number one way of getting ill.
Absolutely. Yeah. The new variant, the BA2, there's a new monoclonal antibody that's supposedly work against it. We've got some of that in stock. We haven't used any in quite a while, but if the BA2 gets to us, or when it gets to us, we'll have a drug to kind of combat it.
So, explain some of the things they're talking about with the boosters now. They already had that one booster. For those who are 60 years of age and older, they approved that first booster after your 2 shots, and now they're kind of saying another one would probably be a good idea if you're 60 years of age or older, or possibly compromised, right?
Right. That's what they're saying. I don't know that that's really been put into effect yet, but
I think I just read the other day
that it has.
Yeah,
okay.
They're kind of saying it's a good idea because by the fall season they said you're going to have one.
Yeah. That's one thing about this. Since it's a year-round thing, the flu shot, you get a flu shot, and it's good for a certain amount of time when the virus is here. Mm-hmm. But COVID just doesn't seem to go away, so you're going to have to boost the immunity to it a little bit.
So explain to me, COVID is kind of like a flu because a flu mutates.
Right.
COVID has mutated, obviously. We've seen it happen. All right, so when they put together the I don't want to say the antibodies for this so they can create the shot to get you your flu shot for that year or for your COVID shot, they're basing upon that original or whatever one that they have at that time. They take those antibodies, create the vaccine, and you hope that it gets good results because it could mutate long before you ever get the vaccine, couldn't it?
And they've got a whole catalog of virus that they use in the flu shot.
Right.
And they have a whole network of reporting stations in Europe and China and all that area. And so they work on this like a year ahead of time to see what's going to come through, and they try to formulate the flu shot based on what's actually there.
Because we've gone through the swine flu and the bird flu, remember when all that was big news, and getting all the vaccinations for that. But by the time it actually got to the United States, I think the swine flu had kind of filtered down to not much.
Right.
And it was, and that's give me your impression when CDC puts out something like, beware of this and beware of this, and then by the time it gets here, it's kind of like a little, not much.
Yeah.
That kind of hurts their credibility a bit, doesn't it?
A little bit, but I mean they're looking at worst case scenario.
Sure.
It does kind of mutate and kind of weans down, but it could go the other way too.
Oh yeah.
So that's kind of what they're looking at is the worst possible outcome.
But and I guess my question really involves with they keep harping on it. You can't, don't do this, don't do this, and then nothing happens. So it's like the boy who cried wolf. Hey,
Yeah.
don't do it, don't do it, don't do it.
Yeah.
And then sooner or later, it just kind of goes right by your ears. You don't even hear it anymore, do you?
Well, kind of. I mean, yeah, it's kind of like the weather. You get 50-50 chance, but yeah, I think they're trying to pick, like I say, the worst case, and if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen.
And we hope it doesn't happen.
Exactly.
No, we really do hope it doesn't happen. But they've changed courses so many times with masks and do this, and this is okay now, it's not okay, and then this is okay and now it's not okay. And in their defense, nobody knew what COVID was.
Oh no.
And so you were hoping, you were putting up, I would guess to say, standard defenses against what any kind of virtual viral infection could be, because wash your hands, good hygiene, stay at home.
Right.
If you do that, you should be okay.
Right. And the whole mask thing has been a real controversy. They say now the cloth masks really don't do anything, and the surgical masks are the thing to use. But I don't know. I mean, I'm not really sure how much good that does either.
Well, I mean, I understand the cloth mask because droplets of water get in the cloth, and then if you would have to cough, you'd push those droplets out. I can get that one. Now, if you had a double layer one, maybe with a cotton something in there or something to trap the moisture,
right,
maybe it'd be okay.
Right.
But just throw a bandana over your mouth and say I'm covered.
Right.
It more looks like you're a Western outlaw than it does.
Yeah, the N95 masks are for sure. But
because they are layered, right? I mean, it's like 4 layers to them, and they kind of overlap each other.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. They're the best to wear.
I was at the hospital yesterday and had a new mask that wrapped around your ears. It didn't have the string; it just had a little cutout.
I saw those.
And
yeah.
you put that over your ears, and I thought this really feels weird. But it is what it is, and you still must wear your mask when you go to the hospital.
Right. Right.
Irregardless of what your personal beliefs, unless you have a respiratory issue, then you're allowed not to wear a mask. But I would like to get your opinion on vaccines. And there's a lot of different vaccines, not just COVID and flu vaccines, but as we get older, a lot of people say about pneumonia vaccine and pneumococcal vaccine, and also shingles. And I think that's becoming one that really people are starting to pay attention to because of what shingles can do to you if it breaks out in your system. Right?
Oh, absolutely. It can be devastating. I think the shingles vaccine's a very good thing. I've had it myself. I mean,
you have both, or you had the first one?
I've had both.
Okay.
Yeah. I think they're very beneficial because it can really be hard on your system.
Yeah. Can you explain? I mean, they say shingles comes from the chickenpox virus that you get when you're a little kid, and everybody, whoever had chickenpox, remembers.
Right.
And they remember those bumps, and then they would kind of scab over, right?
Right.
Right. So it'd be, and a lot of times just itchy, for the most part, and a little bit of a fever.
Yeah.
But the shingles, when you get shingles, this can be a burn. I mean, it's going to feel like somebody's just torching you, and it will pus up. And, I mean, it's really not a very pretty sight, is it?
No, I mean, when you had chickenpox as a child, the virus kind of crawls back up in those nerve tracts and lays there dormant until you have your immune system gets down, and then they kind of crawl back out and it
just takes over.
Really bad inflammation and infection of the nerve endings, and it's just painful,
And it takes a long time to heal, I hear.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So if you get shingles, what's about 3 months? I mean, I think the one that was most famous when Tony La Russa had it in 2011 when the Cardinals went to the World Series. And you saw half his face was covered with shingles.
Yeah.
And you don't want to get that in your eyes, do you? Yeah. I mean, it can really be dangerous. Right?
Oh, absolutely. You can get it in your eyes and your ears, and there's a condition actually if you get it in your ear that can affect you like Bell's palsy. I mean, can affect a whole side of your face, the nerves, and it can really be bad.
So if you've had chickenpox, and I think a lot of people have, for the most part.
Most people, yeah.
If you've had chickenpox, and they say 50 is kind of like the lowest age you can get a shingle shot, but
right.
I would highly recommend getting one. I don't think you'd want to go through the entire shingles thing, and it doesn't still mean you won't get shingles, but it would really lessen
Yes.
the effects of shingles. But it is a 2-shot process, correct?
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely worth it.
Yeah, that's about a 6 months in between each shot. Is that about right?
I believe that's right. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so, but vaccines are meant for good things. Now, the pneumococcal one, people say, well, if I get that, I'll never get pneumonia. That's not true either.
No.
There's a lot of different pneumonias, aren't there?
Right. A lot of different bacteria and organisms.
And this will help you through about, I think, 5 or 6 different types, if
Yes.
I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
So, but if you have some issues, especially when we get to the wintertime, breathing,
Yep.
if you've had pneumonia in the past, you might be subject to it again. I would highly recommend, again, getting the pneumonia vaccine.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Don't play around with these things. And people seem to sometimes, and I know myself, I'm guilty of it too. So if you are falling the same boat as I am, don't feel all that bad. Or maybe feel, tell me I'm dumb or whatever. But I just got my first shingles shot here not long ago. Put it off for like 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know why I put it off, but every time I thought I needed it, I got busy or didn't want to go there. Or I was going on vacation or I was going to be here and I didn't want to take that shot because they say you usually feel bad for a couple days afterwards.
right.
I didn't feel terrible. I was a little down to about the third day. I just kind of like, blah. Don't bother me. Leave me alone, But some people can get ill from the vaccine, and that is a side effect of some vaccines. Not only just the shingles shot or the pneumonia vaccine. Obviously, some people have had issues with COVID and flu as well.
Right. Most vaccines you'll have some kind of reaction to. I mean, you're introducing something foreign into your body. So yeah, the severity just depends. I mean, it could just be a headache, a little fever, or to more
Sometimes
severe
muscle
reactions.
soreness too,
A little,
right?
a little soreness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
joint issues a little bit.
Yeah.
Sometimes it feels like arthritis. That's what
Right.
I tell
Right.
people. I tell people sometimes it feels like arthritis. So one of the things about before you just go and haphazardly go get a vaccine, I don't recommend that. Just run in and say, hey, give me that vaccine. Talk to your primary. And if you don't have a primary, I highly recommend you call SMDH Family Medicine. Got the brand new doctor in town, Dr. Bland.
Yep.
And now her mom, Michelle's on board, right?
Right.
She's
a nurse practitioner. Yep.
Absolutely. Nice to have Michelle back in the practice again. She's been out of the game for a little bit, but she's right back on top. Dr. Al and Terry Brito, Doctor, they're ready to assist you. They'll look at you. They'll talk to you about the vaccine, give you all the details.
Right.
Ask them. And when you go there, just say, well, I think I might need that pneumonia vaccine. They're probably going to ask the first thing out of their mouth is why.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why do you think you need it? Because there's so many drug commercials on TV, Dave. They mess up your mind. Well, I need to get that Veritusa or whatever it is because I probably have that disease. Seriously?
Right. Yeah. The marketing, the dollars that are spent in marketing are tremendous. So.
And when you watch those, when you see the side effects, or you hear them say the side effects, why the heck would I take that?
Right.
Yeah, and you don't know what the percentage is of that, but I can't remember one they had on there. One of the side effects is death. That's a heck of a side effect.
The ultimate.
Yeah, I mean that's not a good one. But when we talk about these different things, do make sure that you just don't take something, even over-the-counter drugs. If you want to take an aspirin, okay, and you're good with aspirin, that's fine, or Tylenol, that's fine, dandy. But people start putting cocktails together. 2 of these and 1 of these and 3 of these, and that's not really recommended to take all those medications at one time, is it?
Oh no, and your pharmacist is a good resource for that. I mean, they're the ones that see especially the over-the-counter things when you're buying them, and ask your pharmacist about what you're taking prescription-wise, if it'll work with this, with the over-the-counter things.
I remember some years ago, and I don't know if it's still the case, that there was a blood pressure medication. If you drank with orange juice, you could get a stroke. I'm thinking, seriously? I mean, it was the citric acid that did not mix with the pill.
Sure.
And it causes reaction. And so no grapefruit or orange juice. And that was even put on the prescription for a long time. Do not take. And I remember that. And I thought, who would think, just a glass of orange juice, I'll take my blood pressure medication. And
Yeah.
suddenly, you're violently ill. wow, you would think twice about it. But there are some of these things, and it's something as simple as orange juice counteracting with a medication, and those things do happen.
Oh, absolutely. There's one class of cholesterol medication that you can't have grapefruit juice with, or grapefruit, or yeah. So yeah, it's always good to ask.
Yeah, and check with your doctor. And there, of course, when you get your prescription filled, if you have cholesterol issues, triglycerides, whatever, ask the pharmacist. They will ask you, do you have any questions? Well, open the bag up and take a look and say, look, I want to go read these things. Can I come back and ask that question? Well, sure. They don't care. They've got a chair there. Go back and take a look, because if you're not, maybe if you read those reactions that could happen, or maybe you don't want to be mixing things, you definitely need to know. And if you're already taking medication, ask the pharmacist right then and there, hey, I'm already taking Bemazole. Can I take this with that, or do I need to have a 5-hour or 6-hour separation? It's very important that you pay attention to these things, because the medications are given to you to make you healthy,
Right.
not to hurt you.
Not to create more problems.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah, it's good to stay up on it, know what you're taking, and ask the pharmacist and ask the doctor.
sometimes what we talk about here, Dave, is common sense. But we all get lazy.
Oh, yeah.
I got to go out this morning. I'll just take all my pills at one time. I remember as my dad was getting older, he had his morning pill, his afternoon pill, and his evening pill, and he had this big long thing just full of them. And I said, Dad, what if you got them mixed up? He goes, well, I don't get them mixed up. He goes, I put them in there one at a time, and I take them out one at a time. And I said, I only take one pill at a time. I said, so how much hour do you give in between? He said, I take this one at 8, I take this one at noon, I take this one at 4. I said, every day you do? He goes, every day. Give it 5-10 minutes, but that's...
Sure.
I said, well, okay, you got a plan.
Yeah. And that's a good plan, to get on a regimen, to know what you're going to take every day and stay on it.
Yeah. And because usually, and many times on your prescription, you'll say take it in the morning, take at night, take with food. Do read those, because there's a reason it's on there.
Right.
I think one of the ones that comes to mind that is not really even a prescription one, but can be, is niacin. People take niacin, and all of a sudden they get this burning sensation in their ears, and then what the heck is going on? My head's on fire. Well, it's called flushing.
Yep.
And if you get the flush-free niacin and your doctor tells you to take it, that's the one you probably want to get. But there are some out there that will let you know.
Oh, absolutely.
If you don't take this and do it the correct way, you're going to feel it.
It happens pretty quick. Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was guilty of that one time. I didn't know it was flush-free. Okay? I mean, it wasn't flush-free. I thought it was. And I took it, and damn, underneath my jaws got warm, and then my ears and back behind my head. And wow. And it takes about a half hour to finally get over all of that. Yeah, but it's going through your system. So a lot of different things out there. Watch commingling drugs, over-the-counter prescription drugs. Also, if the doctor tells you to make sure that you eat on a consistent basis, maybe every 2 to 3 hours, have something. Could be a piece of fruit, could be a cracker, whatever. They tell you to make sure that you have something in your stomach. Do exactly that. Take something with you. There's a lot of products out there, as well as I do. They're portable. You can stick them in your pocket. We've had granola bars and things like that. There's all kinds of stuff anymore that it's a quick meal, and it's not very filling, but it's enough to put something in your stomach to keep that metabolism going and to keep those drugs or whatever that you might have in your system working harder. Because once your system slows down, they don't quite do as much as they used to.
Yep.
Slow down. Wouldn't that be nice?
Would be.
Yeah. Well, we've been just chatting away here about some different things, but I hope you've gotten a lot of different information from Dave. He's a wealth of information about a number of different things, and a lot of time we just come in here and talk about kind of whatever, and that's kind of what we did today. But we are getting a spring season. Let me ask you just real quickly about some allergies, because right now allergies I see people suffering everywhere, and we all know that. And with Missouri weather, one day it's 80 degrees yesterday, and now tomorrow it's going to be 33 in the morning, okay?
Right.
It's insane. And not one time, like this will be the 6th time we've done this.
Right.
It's crazy. But not only allergies in the springtime, ticks and fleas. And these are not anything to sneeze at. Somebody said, "Oh, flea bite." Flea bites can be horrible, can't they?
Yeah, they can. They really can. So if you have pets around, you want to make sure and treat them with something to kind of keep the fleas down and off of them. And ticks, the tick situation has really gotten bad. I mean, the viruses that are in the ticks. So we want to be sure and watch any tick bite to see if you have any problem with it.
We all like to go walking through the forest, take the Montauk Trail hike, and people go to Iron Mountain and they walk through there. Hey, make sure you get your repellent on there. Ticks will be on a little leaf just sitting out there. You don't think nothing of it. You walk by, brush it, and it's on you.
Yep.
So you definitely want to make sure that you check that out. And then when you do get back in, check yourself out. See if you come across any ticks. You really don't want to have them get lodged into your system. Get them off before they can. And there's proper ways of removing a tick, aren't there?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You want to make sure you get it all. Yeah.
Get that head out, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It just keeps chewing.
Yeah.
That's amazing to me. It just keeps on digging in there. And people say, well, how do I know I had a tick bite? Well, if a tick's still on you, you had a tick bite. If it's not on you anymore, you probably didn't. It's probably something else. But one of the things with a tick bite that it can do is it can lay dormant just like shingles can and then come out there. I hear a lot of people with Rocky Mountain spotted fever get it maybe 3 to 5 years later.
Yeah.
So don't play with these things, guys, and it can affect you if people lose their taste for meat. Other people all of a sudden they can't take dairy. It affects your system and it can really throw everything into a tizzy.
Yeah,
right?
make you violently ill. Yeah.
Yeah. Watch the ticks out there, and there's a lot of them. We have a lot of deer, so we have a lot of deer ticks.
Yep.
We have a lot of brush growing right now, so be very cautious and, just watch out for those things. But this is the time of year that I think people want to get outside and they want to enjoy it, but it's also the time of year that they start, the ticks and the fleas and everything else start running rampant. I'm going to say one last thing, and we'll get out of here, and I'll let you go back to work.
Okay.
I know you're dying to get back to work. This also is the season for poison ivy, and a lot of people have allergies to poison ivy. And for whatever reason, Dave, and I don't know what it is, but nobody seems to be teaching anybody what even poison ivy looks like anymore.
Yeah.
And I don't get it. And if you get it, and if you have a bad allergy to it, you wish you didn't.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. You there are a lot of good products out. Some of the washes that if you know you've been in it, you can wash a lot of it off. But yeah, I mean, if you're bad enough, a steroid dose pack from your doctor is really the best thing to do.
Or two.
To knock it down,
I actually had to have 2 of those.
Yeah.
And that was when Dr. Carnett was here. Because what had happened to me with the poison ivy, and I think it was poison sumac. So you have poison ivy, you have poison oak, and you have poison sumac.
Sumac, yeah.
And they don't look alike.
Right.
You need to be familiar with all of them. It's as simple as touching a tree, or you see this nice little plant over there with those 3 leaves sitting there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that nice little plant could put you in a heap of trouble for a month. Trust me. But in my case, the blisters started to pop, and on their own, they just came open, just started busting open, up and down my arms. I had to wear long sleeves and ace bandages over to suck up the juice.
Wow.
And when I walked in there, he goes, "What in the heck have you gotten into?" I said, "Heck if I know." Probably a combination of 2 of those, because look what it's doing, and it's doing it on its own.
Yeah.
I'm not scratching it. So he gave me the first steroid pack, and then I had to come back like 5 days later. He gave me another one. It was still in bad shape. I still got the scars today to prove it, But it's one of those things, when you have an allergy to something, you don't want to be careless.
Right.
And that could be bees, wasps, hornets. Definitely want to make sure that you are prepared. If you're going to be out in the wilderness out there and you have an allergy to wasps or anything, and you come across one, you better have your EpiPen with you.
Absolutely, yeah.
You better have it, no doubt about it. Anything else? We've covered a lot.
Yeah, I can't really think of anything
Well,
other
it's
than
been fun.
the hospital's coming back.
Yeah.
We're doing a lot better, so don't give up on us.
Oh, no. Sometimes you have to go through an adjustment period.
Oh yeah, well, and COVID has really thrown everything in a
It really
in a
has.
big tizzy, and something our generation never dealt with anything quite like this. So,
One of the things, there's always maybe a silver lining that comes out of all this. Well, we now have a lot of brand new equipment in our lab.
we do.
That it needed to be replaced probably, or near its end of life. I won't say it absolutely needed to be replaced, but near the end of life. And it got hastened now, had to be purchased. And now everything, you look at our hospital right now, Dave, new MRI. Our CT is virtually brand new.
Right.
We've got ultrasound that's virtually brand new within a year and a half.
Right.
And now all the new lab, the analyzer is going to be, the chemical analyzer is going to be brand new.
Right.
I mean, holy cow.
Yeah, they were just rolling it in last week. Yeah, I saw them. Yeah.
And so you think about all the different services that we're offering that for a small rural hospital, you just don't find.
No.
And at some of the lowest prices you're going to find too. And remember, I guess we should point out, on the SMDH website, you can actually do a little shopping for services.
Right.
It's called transparency, and you can go on, and if you're going to get, let's just say you're going to get an MRI on your right knee, and you find out what it is, you can type that in, and you can check that out in a number of different locations and find out what they charge. And I'm going to guarantee you this. If Salem is not the lowest, it'll be like the second lowest.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Compared to anywhere else. And here's the one thing I didn't like about the transparency, and I think it's kind of unfair. We have a brand new MRI with an open bore. It doesn't explain that. It just tells you what your test is going to be. So it doesn't tell you about the equipment that somebody has, how new it is or how old it is or whatever. But then that charge is there, and you don't really know if you're getting a great image,
right,
a decent image, or a fantabulous image.
Right.
And right now at SMDH, you get a fantabulous image with that MRI.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean to tell you.
It's definitely state of the art.
Oh, my goodness gracious. I was talking to Bobby about it. He goes, you would not believe what you can see in that.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, even the smallest little tear that you normally would never even know. I said, it's right. It stands out. He goes, that's how impressive it is. That's
Absolutely, yeah.
Pretty good stuff.
Yep.
So anyway, do that. Go online, check that out. And while we're here, and Dave needs to do his, so I'm going to make sure before he leaves, I'm going to get him to do his assessment for him.
Exactly.
At smdh.net, the community-wide assessment is going on. It ends Friday, so don't put it off any longer. Go on in. It doesn't cost you anything except about 5 minutes of your time. And basically, it wants your opinion on what you see as a need in the community. That's what they want. So when they get all these and they collect them, and then they will put together programs to address those needs based upon what you submit. And then that's the good thing. It's what you see as a need, not what they see or neighbor sees or a neighboring state or somebody else or the federal government. It's what you see as a need in your community. So go ahead, fill out that community needs assessment. It's on the smdh.net website. You can also pick it up at the pharmacies, also pick it up at the financial institutions in town. In the emergency department, as you walk in, there's a box right there with a paper one. I mean, these are all paper that I'm talking about out and about. You can fill it out and stick it right in the box. It won't take you, like I said, 5-8 minutes. And please do so. You can leave, by the way, the filled out forms at the location you fill it out if you want to. If you take it home, you can bring it back to that location or take it to the hospital, walk in the emergency department there, put it in a box, and walk back out.
Yep. I'm going to do mine right now.
Right now. There you go. So I'm going to let him go so he can get that needs assessment filled out. Dave, as always, good to see you again, my friend. I hope you have a very happy Easter, you and your family, and have good times, and let's hope for not too much storming today.
Really? Yeah.
All right. Very good.
All right. Thank you.
Dave Kerr from the Salem Memorial District Hospital. We appreciate our friends from the hospital. If you have any questions or if anybody needs any information, can they give you a buzz?
Oh, absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah, just call the hospital number and ask for the pharmacy. Yeah.
There you go. And there he is. And he'll be more than happy to give you some information. But also, don't forget, too, he's not going to write you a prescription.
No.
He can't refill them for you. He does that in the hospital, not outside here. But if you have a question about a prescription, maybe your doctor has given you and you're not sure about something, and maybe your doctor's unavailable and you need some answers like right now, give him a call.
Sure.
And just
absolutely.
ask for the pharmacy at SMDH, 888-888-2626. My friend, good to see you.
All right, good to see
You
you.
have a great day. Take care.